It's bad for our economy. It's bad for local farmers. And it's bad for companies like Golden Valerian and Mano Oil Plantation that have invested millions of dollars in this economy. I think if we want to act in good faith, go like Mano did, or send Darby now Mano, like Golden Valerian did, go and acquire farmland, open your farm, and bring in your plant. Good investment. This is ambush marketing. Nowhere in this country, and you can do the study, that you will produce 13,000 metric tons of CPO a month. It's not possible.
I'm concerned about the misdirection of our country.
Say you won't be president. You're not finding food for the people. You're not creating means for the people. You're talking about senator or not senator. That didn't like Liberia-VOL. People are not serious.
They see people, they are a bunch of hooligans, bunch of clowns. So such people cannot be entrusted with it. It was so good that they are informed that people, they cannot color and they cannot think they made up. So you see what is happening now? You see what is happening? That these people, they are unserious people, they are a bunch of hooligans that just want to take over the country and grab whatever they get and go away.
The government sees Mr. Cummings as a threat to them in 2023, so they are trying to do everything to bring this man down.
But I can guarantee you, I will beat those people just like a little baby. When they hear the election result, they will understand that God got me. I'm saying it again. I was reading in the newspaper, someone said, Liberia people will get Joey one-term president. And after the elections, God will make sure that mouth will be closed. But beware. I will defeat them in 2018.
Look, Omen, don't get me spirited intellectually, because if you get me in the platform, what I will be doing as an emerging political scientist, that what we call political rapporteur, or I will be doing or providing political tutorage on this medium.
Political tutorage?
Yeah.
What is political tutorage?
The art of, tutoring or tutelage. It's tutorage.
Political tutorage.
Yeah. Meaning I will be teaching politically.
Joseph Boakai has a monthly allowance of $3,000 coming from me every month from the United States. Apart from all the other requests for this, requests for that, requests for this, requests for that, fixed $3,000 that I got from donors. Never one day did I tell you it was my money. I was raising that money from people Joseph Boakai never had any relationship with. I wanted to send us a Stanton. I'm soliciting financial support for this old man because I want him to come back to run against WIA. The president Stanton said, I'm supporting WIA. Why should I give you any money to help Joseph Boakai? I said, Senator, you're doing it for me.
The reason why we ink before you cast your vote, because when you cast your vote, that's the last aspect of the process, and you have to leave the center. And the time you would take to drop your ballot into the ballot box, the ink has dried. And when the ink dries, it's a situation that indeed you have voted, and the staff will monitor you while you are putting your ballot into the ballot box. Now, the issue that you want to raise will be the stain. The stain will not affect the mark that person has placed on the ballot paper.
What we came to do today actually is a FIFA and appellant of a chimney. Basically, it's on grounds that there were some irregularities ranging from excluding agents that being in the building or being thrown out of the building, which we're asking the Board of Commissioners to review. Initially, he had asked the Board of Commissioners to remand the case for continuation of trial by way of a motion, but that motion was denied. So we went through the data session that the Commissioner reserved ruling. They did not even have a prayer for which he wanted the Commission to act. The Commissioner has reserved ruling to be determined at another date.
How do you see those claims?
I represent the appellee, so normally I would tell you that they were very flimsy. There's no strong claim. I mean, if you want to come on a fee of such nature, that we should be surrounded by maybe issue concerning your ballot stuffing, legal ballots, those things are claims that you should bring to the Commission, but you're talking about. They didn't even name the people. When they say an old man was in the room, who's that old man? We don't know his name.
You say people purchasing voter cards?
There are reports of that.
There are reports. So these reports, the NEC cannot substantiate them. You can substantiate these reports. But it's against yourself to sell your card. It's against yourself to give your card to anybody else other than you. Because it's with that card that you can exercise your franchise, you can make that decision to vote for who you want to be your president, your senator, and your representative. If you want to give your card to somebody else, that person cannot use the card because the person is not you, but the person buying your card can prevent you from voting. So we all need to be aware of this and I don't know, talk to our brother, sister, auntie, uncle, and children.
Don't trouble nothing too much,
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, something to you. 7, 8, 9, you back. 1, 2, 3,
I love you.
6,
I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillows.
Another afternoon and another day, people.
Good morning.
To talk the issues as they unfold on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakatamagibi County, Voice of Liberia 90.7 Bon County, and the online radio www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, and the show Bits and Pieces on this 3rd day of October 3rd day of November 2023. Election year in Liberia. Runoff between the Coalition for Democratic Change and the Opposition Unity Party that was just ruling party 12 years back. Oh, time flies. Okay. So the battle is on November 14th. We put the bits and pieces together. We just oppose, and then you make the ultimate decision because you are the ultimate judge. Thank you so very much that you join us for the show this afternoon. I'm Sam Andrews, and this is Voice of Liberia 104.1.
And I firmly believe of turning all these dreams into reality. And like a child, I would say it's so easy to you. 1, 2, 3, I love you.
4, 5, 6,
I miss you. I want you back.
1, 2, 3,
I love you.
Let's get started. Time is of the essence. So the atmosphere isn't as bubbling as it was the first round of campaigning politically, but it is interesting in terms of the negotiations, the meetings taking place, the kind of individuals, endorsements all over the place. Those are the features of second round or runoff elections. Some people, you hear them say, the atmosphere is not just, it's not really interesting, man. You can feel it. You can feel like that campaign. Yes, that's true. Everywhere, that's how it looks, not only in Liberia, all over the world. Because if you got 20 persons and only 2 made it to the second round, it means the rest of the people who added spice by their participation or who were participants are not participants any longer. So the number dropped, the enthusiasm dropped. Those are the one of several features. So you have to understand it that way. But too many things are happening behind the scene, people. Too many things are happening behind the scene. The negotiation is tense. When I say tense, that means they have less time. CDC, Unity Party, negotiating to get individuals, to get people, to get political parties, to get independent candidates, especially those who won on their side. We've had series of endorsements taking place. There are a number of individuals, parties that endorsed President George Weah and endorsed Joseph Yema Boakai. So you will not have the atmosphere. You will not see crowds here and there. You will not see too many campaign trails. What you see happening now is the campaign team of these two political institutions are moving strategically. They have spread themselves out, moving into those areas. CDC is working more in areas, those counties and places it didn't get the votes it needed or had envisioned to have gotten. So they will canvass more in that area or those areas. The same way with Unity Party. The standard bearer will not move as it was in the first round. In the second round, the standard bearer moves less. And most of the canvassing, most of the talking, explaining the manifesto and others will be done by the campaign team. So it is autopause. They spread themselves out with the message. They move in pockets, pocket size. So if you look at what is happening now, you got the party all over the place. You got CDC people all over the place strategically. In the second round is a strategic campaign. They move to those various counties, not with large groups, long convoys, but influential people move in. Those who know the message, who understand the manifesto in depth of the party, those who can persuade, those who have the psychological and philosophical depth to, to sway votes, those who are at the language of the people, who understand the language, understand culture, those who can come down to the people, speak the same way. Because in the second round, you use most of the strategies that you use in the first round. The only difference in the second round is there isn't elaborate campaign trails here and there. In the second round, it is strategic. There where you see those who understand the party's message to the letter, those who are influential, those understand the culture, those who can speak at the level of the people, those who understand all of the factors that exist existentially, the sociological factor, the anthropological factor, all of those will exist in the various ways to get the votes. The standard bearer will move less. Why the standard bearer will not move to all of the counties? Because they have covered, and not necessarily that they don't see the people as significant again, but the time is short to cover the entire country. The time is short. So the two parties now, Unity Party and Liberty and CDC, they've spread out. Jehovah Witness, canvassing, the Orthodox, canvassing, all of those strategies, they are using everything to get the votes. The standard bearer will move. You will see President Weah moving. His press secretary Solo Kebe made it clear that President Weah will start to crisscross the country as he did the first round. But he will not go to all of the counties. He wouldn't. We have not had the opportunity yet to get the itinerary of Joseph Yema Parker, but we can equally say that he might move to the counties, but he might not go to all of the counties. So, what if President Weah is moving? those areas that CDC did not do well as per the results that were the way focused. Those areas that Unity Party didn't do well will focus. That's what you do in second round. You don't just run all around because you got the right or the ability or the finance or logistics to run around. No, that is why second round it is strategic. It is strategic. So if CDC didn't do well, for example, in Muscat County, then most part of the strategy or a segment of that strategy will focus on where they fell short, what they didn't do that they need to do, what areas or locales or communities or districts they did not penetrate, that they will have to make interventions, that they will have to insert themselves. All of them. Unity Party would say we didn't do well in the southeast. Maryland, we lost. Um, where Sino, we lost. So they will look at those counties and insert themselves into those counties to make sure that they get the vote. But if you won a county, it doesn't say that the party will turn its back. No, because they will still need to keep. They assume that CDC won the Southeast, and they did win the Southeast as per the results that came from the National Elections Commission. So they cannot rest content. No, CDC cannot rest content. So as part of the strategy, they will send people there to maintain and increase the votes there because Unity Party will be going there. Where Unity Party, where Unity Party won, the counties that Unity Party won cannot rest content because CDC will be going there. And they wouldn't want CDC to take the vote. Where CDC did not win massively, they will want if they can win that district in the second round or that county in the second round, but the vote should be split equally. Take Nima, for example. Nima, over the time, not all of the time, but occasionally, decided the presidency in this country. Nima is one of the vote rich counties. President Weah lost Nima County. Prince Johnson is there. They got votes, but the votes weren't as substantial, but rather considerable. So CDC will insert itself in Nima County. If CDC can split the votes equally with Joseph Iman Baka in Nima County, they have the edge. The election is divided or is won from those vote rich counties. CDC did not do well in Lofa, but they got considerable votes. They will have to insert themselves. So that's how it goes. Where Unity Party did not get the votes substantially, the second round, they will have to insert themselves. That's what the strategy is all about. The team sits and they run through all of those. That is why you can see the atmosphere as bubbling as you saw the first round. So know that's how it is. And then there is the endorsement. You had Alcop and Lieutenant Camara endorsing, endorsing the Unity Party. And then you have another faction endorsing CDC and President George Weah. The two factions will give their reasons. Democratically, it's accepted. No one got problem with it, and that's how it ought to be. And then Alexander Cummings last night will issue a full statement. But just before just before I forget, you got District Titan, you got Lassana Dolly and Archibald Wallow coming in to explain their own position politically. Archibald Wallow and Lassana Dolly will be in at 3 o'clock on the show Bits and Pieces. So Cummings came out with his position that he's not going to endorse either of these the two candidates. Certainly not. And he stated all of the reasons in his opinion, the thing. But the CPP was going to make a public declaration, having constituted a 5-member committee headed by law professor Charlene Bromsky. Now, it is a known fact that they are headed to the Coalition for Democratic Change. So the argument now, what Cummings didn't take side, but why the criticisms all those times? Because if his party, no, not his party, but the collaborating political party, he is the chair of the collaborating political party, ANC. I don't think it was the endorsement of CDC was ANC slash CPP. I think CPP, because in his statement he said CPP, CPP slash EC that would take the decision. And ECC simply means executive committee, executive committee. So it was, it was the, excuse me, it was the executive committee of the collaborating political parties that took the decision, and the decision favored the the it favored CDC. It favored CDC. Not a surprise. So you'll see that sedition will take to the various platforms, encouraging, welcoming. This one said, Charlene M. Bromsky, most ability. Charlene M. Bromsky, most ability. Mariah Cole, Mariah is the administrative assistant to Alexander Cummings. She's the administrative assistant to Alexander Cummings. And she will also post to, and her post went directly, but let me finish this. Bwaka Fofana is the deputy spokesperson of CDC campaign team. He said, welcome on board, Charlene M. Bromsky, Musa Hassan Bility, Maria Cole, Wadi Yakula, Louis Brown, Menipaka Dimore, George G. Wisner, and Maria Yakula. This is what she she said. Um, this is what she wrote. She said, "The thing hurting them. That means because they did not go the way of Unity Party." She said, uh, "The thing hurting them by way." What other thing did she say? The time you're all taking to photo shoot CDC barrack on my head, you better use it to hire good doctors on November 15th. Okay, so that means after November 15th, Joseph Yuma Braga will fall off. That was Mario Ku Dwedi Yekula, the administrative assistant to Alexander Cummings. He's saying that they are getting vexed because he has one CDC parent. So the time they will take to use, they can hire doctors on November 15th. By then, the results, once the results are announced, Joseph Yamabwaga will fall off. And then she will post a photo of she and Vice President Joe Howard Taylor in CDC buried. So they went that way. Alexander Cummings said he wasn't endorsing anybody, either of the two he won, and truly he didn't. He left it with his party, the collaborating political parties. So the five-member committee came up with a resolution to go the way of President George Weah and the Coalition for Democratic Change. So everybody, Lucene Camara, together with Sheikh Kuyate, a number of individuals will go the way of unity party. That's democracy. That's what it is. You can force anybody to side with you, whatever side they find necessary to identify with, endorse, as it is the jargon politically, fine. That's what democracy is all about. You respect people's opinion and the right to assemble where they think they can assemble based on their political preference. Let's see those of you who are following Janja Wongwell. Thank you ever so much. You are following from Johnsonville. Nathaniel James. You are following from the LP that you are feeling well. Honorable Dinwan Tien. You are following from Kakata, Makiti County. The hygiene man, where are you following from? Capital Bypass. A politician, foreign businessman. Thank you ever so much for following. At 3 o'clock, Lasaran Dolin, Archibald Wallow, District 13 are in to explain themselves politically. So, Diamond Food Center. What is happening? They've connected with APM Terminal, just to give you a preview. Expired goods. The way the whole thing went, it was purely surreptitious, purely Nicodemus. And that whole stuff, the products on the market, it is in the commerce of Liberia. Now, one of the reasons you have too many expired goods, and may I say to you that probably some of you don't know, because vast majority of our people are critical in terms of reading to know what to buy. When you see most of these goods that are being poured out in large numbers, just putting out, they say, "Oh, banjo," see people rushing for it, and they're buying it less. So they're selling less because they want it to go. You know what is happening there? Because very many of the business people have no time to be critical. They want the goods to they want to get the goods and make profit. So they sending it out. The person, the supplier who is sending it to them, the supplier knows that it has expired, but because the supplier wants to get it out of his or her warehouse as quickly as possible, so that the government doesn't, the commerce ministry doesn't detect anything, so they flush it out with a low amount. That's when you see the women, the men, the boys, the girls, they rush together, and then they bring it out. 50, 50. No, no, don't buy it. No, don't buy 250 again, 50, 50. Yeah. So the rest of the people who don't know that they get less money, they're rushing. So when they start to consume now, as much as they can consume, then problem starts from within. So they was immediately start to put it on something. They wouldn't know that they bought expired products. They started to use it or consume it. They wouldn't know. But rather they will be thinking something elsewhere or somebody may have done that. I'm giving you a preview of what is coming up beginning Monday. Our commerce has to be clean. You got too many business people who are infesting our commerce with expired goods, no regret, they're bullying it, and they are doing it with the assistance of people within the very commerce of our country. Too many expired goods on the market. People are getting sick, people are dying from it. Too many things are happening. We've got to stop. Too many. What came out today, we're putting the bits and pieces together. Beginning Monday, you hear that. A full series. Series 1, Monday, Series 2, Tuesday, Series 3, 3. Okay. Sorry. But this is a serious thing. Very serious. So very shortly, open the line so that you can have your say. So we have time for you, and then Lasana Dolly, Achi Wallow from District 18, we are in. Those of you who didn't have the understanding or the statement that Cummings released, let me feed you with it. Just run through as quickly, as fast as I can. Listen carefully. Cummings did not endorse George Weah. He did not endorse Yamabwaka. He abstained. Abstinence means you don't vote, you're neutral. But the people have the right to do. But for you, your right, no. So he said he's not supporting President Weah. He's not supporting Joe Buckeye in the runoff. But it doesn't say that he wouldn't vote. Not endorsing. Endorsement is to come public and say that I support this person. It is different from exercising or not exercising your right. And that is the reason why I try to caution every one of you that you're not listening to these politicians that go about to vote, whether endorsement or no endorsement. Because some of you who don't understand this endorsement, when the leader say, I'm not supporting or endorsing anybody, you will understand that the person not voting. You can endorse, but you can vote. So if you sit there and say, my leader say, you're not endorsing any one of the two candidates, that means we're not voting. Because that's how some people have always understood it. The leader say he's coming public to say, I support President Weah or I support Joseph Yimabwaka. It doesn't say on voting day he will not go to vote. The same way he will encourage people to vote in the first round, that they should not stay away. He would not want to stay away. She would not want to stay away. Thank you for coming on. It has Zonin. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you more. Hope that you're faring well from where you are following the show. So Cummings said he's not voting for either of the two men. Yeah, what he said. Please listen. I will run as quickly as fast as I can because I did it this morning for those who were following. If you didn't, it doesn't say I shouldn't. I do it for you also. That is the essence of the responsibility. So yeah, what Cummings said, apart from what his team did, they did endorse President George Weah, the gun George Weah way. But earlier, before this public announcement today, November 10th, this is what on November 2nd. He said a few days ago, the collaborating parties laid out the conditions for any endorsement of the two parties in the runoff. We also announced the setting up of a committee of 5 to discuss with the Coalition for Democratic Change and Unity Party on the endorsement or conditions of our support. The objective of those discussions was to get commitments from the two parties for the incorporation and implementation of important elements, which we believe to be critical for the most needed improvements in the governance of our country and the lives of all Liberians. The collaborating political parties refuses to offer blind support without any reasonable commitment to change from the two parties. By making our conditions public, we do not necessarily intend to impose our will on any political leader or party. We were simply asking the run-off parties to make change a real obligation and not just a political slogan. We know this was an unusual practice in our country, but we offer no apology to anyone for the audacity we have to believe in real change. And so, we thank the two parties for engaging with us in these discussions. The committee has reported that it had meaningful engagement in discussions with both parties. We thank both parties for their willingness to discuss the matters of critical national concerns. The collaborating political party executive committee made the ultimate decision of which party to endorse in the second round. The CPP is a democratic institution, and as such, the overwhelming majority decision is fine. The statement of endorsement will be delivered by the CPP. However, I have asked the parties, and they have agreed to allow me not to take a side. Among several important reasons, we believe this will afford the balanced perspective needed to continue to engage, as CPP has demanded that I do, with all our political, religious, traditional, and other national leaders, including with all Liberians of political, social, and economic standing. As we know, it is difficult to engage meaningfully and constructively if one is perceived to be politically biased or prejudiced. Furthermore, I am hopeful that this position will help our country, both in the short and long term, to work for the unity and reconciliation of our people and leaders, especially after a contentious election that threatens to further divide our people. Not personally choosing a side will also help in a more effective engagement with our international partners. There is also the concern that while we would not legally object to moving ahead with the runoff as announced, we have informed the National Election Commission and have yet to receive a reply concerning our request to undertake an investigation, including a forensic examination of the ballot papers. Why this is still pending, we do not feel justified to proceed as if we do not personally sign the communication to the National Elections Commission, along with the other two presidential candidates. Why this is ongoing, I cannot, at the same time, appear to take the side in the runoff after the first round of election. We are still hopeful of investigating. Finally, my fellow Liberians, coming to conclude, we should not all agree on everything, but we must never disagree to keep our country safe and peaceful. Elections are inherently divisive, but on the other side, is a nation we must remain faithful to and committed to building. The road ahead is going to be tough. Change is hard, but like they say, change is the only constant in the lives of people. We must never give up on trying to change. We must never lose hope in the possibility of change. Importantly, also, we must never give up on our country. Liberia needs all of its sons and daughters to look beyond our disagreements and build a united and better future. Let us work for a better Liberia. Let us ensure and commit to a runoff that is peaceful. And on the other side, let us live in peace and share prosperity. Cummings position 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. So, a couple of requests or demand. Some of those lines as raised by the other side of backup or propose land, religions, and a lot more. Not really, not encouraging. I will try to reach up to Dada Zoni. He had a dissenting opinion on that. 077 0907 907 0880 907 907. And you are on Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakatoma Gibi County, Voice of Liberia 9.7, one county, and soon to be Voice of Liberia Lopa County. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth from Kakata, County.
Let's hear you, Alex.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, the Liberia, one of the good things about Liberia is because people have their own way to do things on democracy. So people crossing over, for me, I don't like to be any problem. But you see, one of the arguments there with one of the person who crossed over to the CPD is Costa crossing over to the CP. Today they were in Kakata, getting the CP. When he Costa, he served as a position for almost 5 years. when they say government started government did nothing. So then what essence? Who never during the company and does nothing? What essence?
But Chief, everybody can change. Only one person can change. That God. Only one person can change. Thank you so much for having your say. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing great in my school. Let me say something. Our brother that also was lecturing. Let me say something. Sometimes those people, they don't bring those people because of the lottery. You can see that people who are just crossing from one party to another party because they are only seeking their own interest. Because you cannot tell all this stuff about anything for the lottery people. At the end of the day, then we elaborate people's feet and they decided to follow it because you were speaking the truth on their behalf. At the end of the day, you cross over.
So nobody should cross over. Nobody should leave a political institution for
No, the
another.
problem is you cross over. But when you want to cross over, you should cross over not with a party that you have already decided that you told the we the common people are listening to you and follow you.
All right, Chief. Thank you ever so much. Have a nice weekend. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770979907. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Yeah, good afternoon.
this is Mama Bisa calling from Ikuta.
Let's hear you.
Brother, thank you for the honor discussion. I'm so satisfied in Liberia. I just want to say something before making my point. I want to say something to the young people that are coming out in life, that are killing themselves, that are destroying themselves for people reach it. I hope they are listening because they don't listen to radio, they don't see what happens. And I'm so disappointed again in Liberia that we don't have no opposition in Liberia. We only want people who want to get something for themselves. For all that, this is Liberia. So my advice to the young people who can be killing themselves for people political party or people organization that they can form to make their family rich or to make themselves to be doing it up to you.
All right,
But
sir.
see what happening in the election, people who
Okay, Chief. Thank you ever so much. Good afternoon. Good
yeah,
afternoon.
good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello,
You are on the air. Let us hear your name. Speak.
my name is Samuel and I do want to talk
Colonel Mission.
yeah.
Yeah, let us hear you.
Yeah, for the aspect of going where the city only the for the access of city people coming from the broad and go journey because right now it is the time meaning because if every one person comes to you, you must definitely know that you are hearing right. So for the issues of hearing costs are coming to citizens that because for the uncle and what is bad for yeah, nothing to bring. And for other people, she also we really try to force people to join our brother and make my brother won't go. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice afternoon. 0770-979-07, Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andy.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yes,
Thank you. And you?
yes, thank you. This is the people's governor of this members of the response defense, Allah defender. Let me say this to our brother before I get to the issue of Nato. So you guys need to be careful, my brother. When people join your party, then meaning that they already nothing wrong with it. But when the people join the other side, then you say it's not alright. And nothing wrong with it. You not expect for them to make that kind of decision. What has made changes? The people they used to be making all the laws because they said the person were not doing well, but now they are convinced. Can you imagine? They are convinced. They need to join us to make sure that the person will be like that to continue when he started. So that is me or you making another law. To Akko is I think your studio gets this money because I think all the issue, all of those plans that they are pushing, they are Liberia. They will be looked into is now that say, oh yeah, they want yeah, for your all do this way. So I get it's something that the president would have listened to their plan and be able to those ones that he would look into to work on, he will work on it. If he doesn't able to work on it, there's a way that he will make it understand that the message that is not all about it. They are convinced that this president is doing extremely well and he needs to continue where he's at. If they just stop today or tomorrow, somebody take over, they won't continue the kind of development where they pay attention. All in the road, because you talk about what give will be all the road. They know the issue of the WASI and the road connectivity. So there are many things that they are convinced of, for which they decided to join, and they are going to stand up there and go the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice Friday afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770907 Crisscrossing political institution isn't wrong. It is right. It's not wrong at all. A person can determine that right life of the person. Simple as that. In life of the person. They just like take it out of politics. People marry 3 4 times. Will you go to condemn them? People move from one place to another. People are obsessed with different cars. Everything is about preference. People can decide to do what they want to do. Now, it is not the person that you should be concerned about, but where the person is headed. So we all leave. We all cross from one radio station to another. A couple of years back, we were on another radio. We decided to move. So you have to respect that too. That's what makes society. People can say some awful things. People have said things to people. People have done all kinds of things to people. The person who is the victim is that person who has the final say in what. So if somebody may have said something to a person, insulted the person, and the person said, yes, this person insulted me for showing remorse. So what do I do? Must I continue? Must I be the one who is hurting or be the conciliator? That's what it is. So y'all drop all of those things. Everybody has some kind of problem somewhere, somehow with people. People have problem with us. If you decide to go somewhere, fine. The situation with Costa, we talk about Costa. But there is the other side. There are two sides to every situation. As much as I know that Costa said against President George Weah and the Coalition for Democratic Change, to the extent that he went on the president's person, listen, the person who everything was targeted against the president said, I leave him. I forgave him. So what if somebody said they forgave you, it finished. The God who created all of us, what did he say? He said, forgive, let it go. Let it go. It doesn't say that the person or you are a bad person because you forgive the person. It only means that you can't live like that all of the time with your life. You have to let go certain things. You have to take it off your mind. You people are Christians. Very many of you who are calling are Christians. What did the Bible say? Proverbs 15:1. It said, kind words turn away life. Kind words is the same as the word forgiveness. So if the person show remorse and the person goes for forgiveness, the person show an act of repentance, must you fend off the person? No. So if Costa said all of those things, yeah, all of us say, well, who did he say it to? He said it to President George Weah. He did not say it to us. He did not say it to you. He did not say it to anybody. He said it to President George Weah. So the president said, okay, no problem, Chief. I forgave you. We are all humans. To forgive is divine. So then what's the problem? Everybody here, people you've offended, people they forgave you. Some of you didn't even show remorse. But the person you offended, the person let it go. So you have to respect people. If you understand it that way, you also have to respect people on their movement. They decide where they want to go. If they may have said something or they have done something and they're going back to that same place, fine. What happened? Paul insulted people. He even killed. There are all kinds of things. What the Lord said, he said, go back to those same people and ask for forgiveness. And when he went back, the people were like, well, what happened? The same people said, we forgive you. We are all one. So it's that simple, chief. You have to understand it that way. Okay? 0770 I'm still there waiting. Those Lasana Antole and Akibo Wallo. Good afternoon.
This is my water coming from this is
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, Sam, I just thank you very much for this topic this afternoon. You see, I really know when I get people really talking about we are in heaven for some. That what you get there, God has created a heaven and the earth, kind of still can commit against God. Not holding it, not holding it, still commit against you. It was not going to be no act. Because we commit sin every day against each other. And even people. But then still we don't know what this is we have for us to come to him. That one meant for person to be Jesus for us for the other people. Before he's forgiving him be. You need to a person with a conscience. You don't want a person you support. Don't want to hold it against God. Don't want to hold it against them. You can do it then. Thank you, brother Sam.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0770 Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, you see some of the things we do. Most of the people that go yeah, a whole lot of things, declaration, there will be no peace, this and that. I don't know. I don't know that reason it could be just all the things for. Is it that the sedition they are done from the beginning of this thing from 2005? They even let go here on the West Island, I don't believe. See, but they got it is too great power. So they said that since the election started, I think that was Nigerians. You see.
Okay.
So we have to in this place.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to have you on your platform. Well, my name is Daniel.
Yeah, let us hear you, Daniel. Daniel is up. 0770 we're still awaiting Masana Dolly. Masana Dolly and Archibald Wallo. 0770 907 Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air, sir. Speak. Hello? Okay. So thank you ever so much for spicing up the first half of the show. Run off. So while I wait last and Archibald Waller from District 13, let me say to you, you let it go. We agree. Nationally, it might have impact. Individually, it has a bearing on the person himself in terms of conscience, but the person who it was directed at, the person let it go. Then, so everyone is a reference point in society. Everybody is a reference point. Other zoning are trying to get through to you. It is not materializing. If you can try from your end, I will and try. From your end, I appreciate it. I understand that you have a dissenting opinion. You are uncomfortable with what some of the lines from our people, and you want to send your dissenting opinion across. So this is what I will do for you. I'm trying to connect with you, but it's not materializing. So you can just do it on 0776 I will pick you up. 0776 36 40 45. So when the person who is the targeted will receive all of those awful things, let go, then it's all fair. You just accept. Everybody too got the right to crisscross. Everybody, all of us got the right to crisscross. If the person wants to go to Jamaica, that the person right. If the person wants to go to Tajikistan, that's the person right. Let's see. So whether this is other zoning. It is hello. He's it's not really proving. Okay. It is the person's right to go where he or she wants to go. It is the person's right. Whether you like it or not, you can force, you can prevent the person. You can do anything whatsoever. Crisscross political parties here 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. Some they went to almost all the political parties. They said awful things about that political party. Some of them even said they would never ever join that party. They would never ever. But they went to the party, and what did they say? What did they give? Or how did they fend off the uncomfortability of the people, as the Reverend Dr. Lawrence Brooker would say? The uncle, when God says something, he means it. And they are right. So you drop this whole thing. What the man said it. What the person said it. And going to the other place. And all those things. What will you do? It doesn't say anything in terms of impact for you. No. You only harbor it psychologically. And you discuss it because it is the atmosphere here. But beyond that, nothing. Not at all. If the man came in your area, if she came in your area and tried to do a public address, it is a right to listen, it is a right not to listen. The same right you have to listen or not to listen, it is the same right the person has to move or not to move. But what it teaches us in this country is we should learn to forgive. You know, the greatest thing that you can ever have, or one of the greatest things that you can ever do, is to let go when somebody wrong you. And the hardest thing in our country is this, to forgive. Take this whole thing out of politics. Take it out of politics. Let me address this. Today is Friday. Take this thing out of politics, or let me take it out of politics. How many of us in this country that wrong people or people wrong us, and we never ever let it go? I cannot tell you how many people, men and women, boys, girls, pastors, imams, journalists, politicians, whatever the sphere of life, refused to forgive and they died with it. It is hard, but this is where and how people know that you are a human being. It is tedious to let go of hurt and pain. It is nothing easy. I wouldn't sit here to tell you that it's easy. No, I will be feeding you with jumbo juice. And don't let anybody give you that it is easy to forgive. It is difficult, it is hard, it is painstaking, but when it is done by the person, you get to know truly that that person is human. You know what it means to receive all of those sometimes threats, and the person said that I forgive you, I let it go, we are one common goal, let us move together. We are one Liberia, we are one country, one people, we are all Liberians. You know what it means? Some people will argue it that yeah, you can let go, but you can't forget. As much as you will not forget, then you haven't forgiven. If some of you have not understood that, You can't live with that. When you let go of something, when you forgive a person, every other thing that the person may have said or said to you, once you have forgiven, once you have let it go, once you have taken it off your mind practically, it has to be demonstrated. The second aspect of that is, as long as you live on the face of the earth, you never ever talk about it. Neither will you use it against the person, even if the person did something else to you. So how is that possible? It is not possible. It is hard, sorry to say. It is hard, or it is possible. Very many people are not forgiving. All these people, very many of the people who are chastising other people for saying awful things against people in whatever the area of life, they've done things to people. So let us now use this situation to forgive. Let go. People craving for blessing. People want different things to happen in their life positively, but they hold things against people. They have things in their heart. They can't let go. They say, "Oh, I forget it. I forgive you, but I will not forget." Then you have not forgiven. If you will come to say you forgive, but you will not forget, then you have never ever forgiven. Never ever. If you think that I'm lying, let God send Angel Gabriel down, and he will say the same thing I'm saying. Some of you who go to church, you go to a mosque, you go to whatever your religious institution. If you have not heard it, well, Voice of Life here is telling you that's what it is. Go and ask your pastor. Go and ask your imam. You can never ever say that I forgive, but I will never forget. Then you have not forgiven. Forgiveness and never ever thinking about it as Siamese twins. In fact, that's what forgiveness is. Not to talk about it, not to think about it. Because when you think about it, then you talk about it. When you talk about it, then it becomes alive in your memory. The past has become fresh again. So when you see the person now, the person becomes fresh enemy. Very many of the people, everybody praying for blessing, everybody hoping for blessing someone's son, but everybody not examining himself or herself to know that along the way they wronged somebody and not willing to forgive. Not willing to forgive. You have to let go. So back into politics, if President Weah, if Joe Biden, if Alexander Cummings, all of those people who said, people who may have achieved a number of things to people, if they let go of those. Joe Biden said, when things came against him, what did he say? Costa lasted him a lot more. What did he say? He said, Costa is my son. And we can go on and on with remarks that we heard from political leaders that people said awful things about. They let it go. That's what it is. You look at your house, look at your church, look into your community, wherever. People who hurt you. If they came asking for forgiveness and want to be part of your venture, forgive them. Forgive them. There is a line I can't get it readily, but I can't forget it. It's in Proverbs. It said, "When you feed your enemy, you have placed a cold water on." Yeah, God. That means if you forget it, if you let the person, if you let everything go, you forgive the person, you rid it from your heart. You know what you have done for yourself? You are open windows of opportunities. One of the reasons why things are not working for some of you, if not all, is because you carry a number of things in your heart against people. Yet you complaining against other people, why they're doing this, why they're doing that, this person is this person is that. Who on this earth don't have or did not offend anybody? Everybody has a problem. Everybody individually, let's examine ourselves. The same what God would say in John 8, he said, he who hasn't sinned, let him be the first to throw the stone. Matthew 7, he said, if you think speck is in your brother's eye and you want him to take it up, no problem to be critical of your brother. But please examine yourself first. Oh, so if everybody was saying, who will have one plain aspect, but when we can forgive and not forgive and not remembering it, but allowing it to go, then we're in a good position. Then it becomes healthy for our country. Oh, yes. So you want to practice forgiveness. You want to practice forgiveness. I use the word practice because for those of us who are Christians, it's in the Bible. Because it is not spontaneous. It is not instant. Why God didn't make it instant or spontaneous? Because we are on earth with so many factors weighing against us. As much as we can fend off those factors as many times we can, the society is healthy. That's why he said, if your brother sinned against you 6 times and came back 6 times asking for forgiveness, forgive him. He did not say reject him. And then he went further after he was prayed. Again, on the same thing. What did he say? He said, forgive 70 times 7, which is 400 plus. He said, forgive 70 times 7. As many times as you can forgive, as many times as you are insulted, let it go. As many times as they beg forgiveness, let it go. Forgive. If we can do that in our society, in this country, in ourselves individually, at our community, at our church, at the business center, the office, wherever we find ourselves, our society is going to get better. When we are critical of people and not examining ourselves and think that they are the undesirable people with undesirable character, it's bad. Before we become critical of people or a person, we must firstly know that what we are critical of that person, we have no temper within that area. But it cannot be that we have a problem in that area or another aspect of life against another person, but yet hiding ours and being critical of the person, all because of XYZ. You want to forgive. So let me use this time because I'm not getting any time. My producer is telling me there's no sign of Lieutenant Dolly and Archie Wallow from District Titan. So we close the show with this that we have to stop being critical of people. We can be critical, but our criticism should be realistic. But the realistic to first start with ourselves. When we can examine ourselves and know that we've got no problem, then we can be critical because that's what the Creator said. He said, if you think speck is in your brother's eye and you want him to take out, it's not bad. It's not wrong to be critical. That's what he's saying. You can be critical of the next person. But here is the yardstick. Here is the measure of law. Here is the few by which you can be critical. You must make sure that you are spotless, you are stainless, you are immaculate, you are sacrosanct, you are holy, you are righteous, with no stain, no dent. How is that possible? How is that possible? Everyone has fault. But our ability to sit down and carefully look at it and say, oh, yes, this person did it. This person did that. We agree that it's having this impact on right. But it is in news now. Is it something that we should capitalize on? Just be running around. How do we help? How do we help this person? Nobody is helping anybody in this society. And that is why after the election, reconciliation is going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, but wouldn't be impossible because people are just looking at things from the surface. It wouldn't be impossible after the election. The person who will be announced as winner of the runoff election has a Herculean tax, and that Herculean tax is reconciliation. You can see the signs already from what people are saying, how they are saying it, what they are doing against each other, to one another. You can see it's going to be difficult. So, if it must be easy for the government that will be elected, if it must be as unique as we will cherish, then it starts from now. We have to stop being critical of people. We can be realistic. We can even be critical. But our criticism should be tailored on what makes sense, what will help the country, what will save the country from something that we do not want. Let's go. Forgive. Forgive. Everybody has the people have been forgiven along the way. If the person realizes their fault and the person comes on board or show sign of coming on board, fine. It's not wrong. There's nothing bad with that. The most important thing is to give. What did God do? God said forgive. And what did he do? He sent his son to forgive us by taking all of our filth. You have to let go. Yeah. Who have done who who have not done or said something evil? Well, all of us, one way or the other, we say things to people on a daily basis. We affect people, affect us directly and indirectly. We are hurt either by people's words, by our words to people, our actions towards people, people action towards us. Everywhere in the taxi, on the ride, in the office, at the business center, in the church, everywhere on a daily basis, everywhere. But as much as we realize that, what do we say? I repent of it. Stop looking at people's faults. Stop capitalizing on people's faults. Everybody is human. We are subject to natural laws. We are on earth. We aren't up. We aren't in the north. We are on earth. We are subject to natural laws. Too many natural and divine phenomena work against us. But as much as we can understand all of these, we can flow along as neighbors, as family, as country. We can flow along. So I'm not taking call on my personal number. If anything, send me a message. I will read it. Send me a message. But I'm not taking call. We take call on the station number, except in extreme case, like Adazonin I tried to get through to him is not proven as the way I explained it. So if he can call on my number, giving the dissenting opinion he has on the land religious issue, he got so uncomfortable, and he thinks if it is not neutralized now, it's going to cause a serious problem. So with that, if he's finding it difficult, and I'm finding it difficult too. I don't know his end, but I'm finding it difficult to get through a try on my number. So if he can call me on that, I will pick him up. That is an extreme situation. Other than that, we use the phone lines normally. So you want to let go of all of those things. Forgive, yeah? Forgive. So back to the politics. Costa said awful things about President George. Yeah, yes. I listened to almost all of the videos. We follow him. But it is not for us, it is not for you to get vexed. The person who was targeted, that's the person. So assume that Costa said all of those things, and he did say. So, and you vex. What can you do? You go to the man, arrest him, open him, say because he said this, he said that. No, you got people in jail like that. You got people in jail. And you know the people who in jail? They're church people. When people say things about a pastor, well, you said it one. Who tell you to say one about my pastor? Who tell you to say that one? You know the man I met, and they start go into another fighting open. And then something happened. Then the church member in jail, the pastor sitting down. They go fight for pastor. The pastor who they're talking to, the pastor ain't doing. The pastor ain't saying. Some people they in jail for that. So what I'm simply saying to you, the person who is the target, once the person isn't doing anything, or the person let it go, who are you to act like you what one of the heroes in the movies that we can watch? Why you acting like you the gladiator or you the predator? What are you acting like that for? No, just leave it. So if Joe Barker said, I forgive, what are you, what you'll be ranting all over the place again. If Alexander come and say, they said this to me, they said all certain, that what comes with such a time, no problem. We are all and let it go. So what are you now to be gallivanting all over the place? Okay? Simeon Fremont, T1 Gonglo, all of those people, they said things about me. They cost me this way. They said I was all kinds of stuff. I let it go. We are all one. So what are you now? To be screaming and shouting all over the place. Focus God. Paul. Focus God. Yeah, you know, very many of you are Christians. You go to the very Bible. Focus God. A number focus God. To the extent that even Job wept. What Job was saying, if the people didn't cause God in the past, she wouldn't have said it. The reason why she said it because she saw people doing it. So she said, curse God and that. Meaning that people were causing God. All for them. But what happened? The sin was there, you can't. No matter my people, I forgive you. You people, very many of you are Christians. Very many of you are Muslims. In the Quran, it's there. I know it for a fact because I read the Quran. I have both the Arabic and the English version. I've been reading it. Probably you know, a long, very many years now. Majority, most of my friends are Muslims. I used to go to the mosque. We used to you hear a number of things. I had a number of Islamic friends and still have. Whenever there is something we try to do from Islamic perspective, we share it with them and they explain. I can sit here and give you names up to 25, 50, 75. They are still alive. And when you call them and say, yes, you don't say that, you say Saint Matthew or so forth. So I know. I can't brag about the Quran. What I'm telling you is I know what it said about forgiveness. My literacy, my curiosity led me to have an understanding of comparative religion. It calls for forgiveness, not thinking about it, letting it go. The same with the Bible and other books on religious principles. So let it go. We have to learn to forgive. Practice it. Forgiveness is practice, practice, practice. Practice it. That is why you have to suppress yourself of emotion. Every little thing, brush up. You're screaming, you're shouting, you're yelling. Then the next thing, anger sets in. And when anger sets in now, then who comes along? The devil. Then when something happens, there's a flip, and you start regretting. Let it go. Let's forgive. Whoever may have hurt us, whoever may have said, whichever way they said it, it is not the magnitude that matters, but forgiveness from the person who was the target. That's what matters. The person who was the target. So if the person who was the target, the person that all of the ballistic missiles was fired against, the person said, "I forgive you." So in this situation, President Weah comes and say, "I forgive you. I forgive because I forgive this person. I forgive." In fact, this thing ain't no news. A couple of years back, it came up. Early morning, we woke up, we heard, "Oh, President Weah called Costa out." And we're not even close to the election. He said, "I forgive him now." Costa, he said, "Give out a couple of hours." He said, "Yeah, the information in my brother is true." President Weah called me up to reconcile with me. And it was shocking to almost everybody. We were in election time, or I think we were just getting closer to 2022. I think so. If I'm not correct, well, you can help me and I will announce it. But it was a gap in between. We woke up to that news. It was flowing around. We started session, calling here and there. A couple of hours after, Costa took to his Facebook page to do a podcast. He said, "Yes, the president called me up and we talked and we reconciled." So what's the news in this one? No, nothing new there. Okay, then. But let's learn to forgive in our country. Practice forgiveness. Practice. In your house, let it go. At the business center, let it go. In your At your church, let it go. At the office, let it go. In the car, let it go. Be a commercial, private, in the kitchen, wherever, let it go. Let it go. That's all I can say. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. The two guys couldn't be in, Lieutenant Dolly and Archibald Waller from District 13. Well, my producer told me that no sign of them. I do not know. But whatever the situation, probably it will be done next week. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. It's Friday. Uh-huh. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Teresa from Christian Mana.
Teresa what?
Teresa
Yeah, let's hear you, Teresa.
Right now, like people, people have to be careful and careful. People going for what they can do. But if Costa may have to put for I can't say yes, continue. If you Costa in the person, no problem. If I have first two and then you make plan for the forest. Now you know Costa saying the first year, I don't know what I'm good for me.
No, that one, Teresa, I finished. Teresa, I finished with that thing. I only talking about forgiveness now, individually and as a country. I'm talking about Costa thing and other people. Everybody, the president finished forgiving Costa. Everybody forgive.
Yeah, I'm coming to
Mhm.
everything is seen. Excuse me, that's what's happening back. You say I was broke. You say first time I'm going outside of junior broke it. I mean the pricing. You say the hours of you say going outside of junior first thing that. You know, first time they first broke and the person is not for this. You see what the cabin for this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. You?
I'm fine, thank God. I'm Adam calling from.
Let's hear you, Adam.
Yeah. Thank you for the show this evening.
Adam, you went off. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm Asif and I'm calling from Particular Good afternoon.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to appreciate you a bit. Afternoon for the teaching. Very. Why you very say that they are very something very famous. One of my web here I went to Ghana. Yes, plus very for me to have no to have vision ready. And thinking of what I'm told me that what happens to shape for from I should put my I just said I feel very in my heart for you very. For thanking you went out to the same thing that I feel when he used before. So my I have to have now behaving with myself.
You offended him.
No, not very,
Or
not very.
he offended you.
I'm not offending him.
Yeah, it means something happened then.
King to me, yeah, you say
So the 2 years, listen, listen, Chief. The 2 years you people were not talking to each other.
1 or 2 years. 1 or 2 years.
So he came to you and said that he forgave you, he let it go, or you should forgive him.
Yes, he came to me very 2 years back. He came to me and he told me that why I'm very happy.
But what happened between the two of you now? Listen, Chief. All right, Chief. But what happened? What happened between the two of you?
I don't definitely wrong to him.
So the place you are at, the women in planet, the guys in planet there.
I get
you laugh again. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907-0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Sorry from Cricket, my country for all of that.
Yeah, let's hear you from whole water side.
Yeah, thank you for your analysis. You have spoken well. Forgiveness is on negative engagement. For those all have been calling negative about having contact between certain Josh, we have very case to presidency and my brother. See, Josh called the judge, my brother. I think to forget me. The simple go back to Joseph Mapaka. So why would they say that? So the thing is positive, negative. So if they have to push you complain,
your line is cracking, not too favorable. Good afternoon.
How are you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm fine.
This is Jackson from Congo.
Let's hear you, Jackson.
You are talking about forgiveness, right?
Yes, sir.
Other people are finding it difficult. Now they are finding it difficult. Johnson said,
I'm talking about that thing. I'm feeling with the political aspect. Everybody has problem. Can you forgive? Are you ready to forgive?
If you talk a crucified and say, forgive me. You can have a church, yeah.
Chief, I'm not discussing. I discussed the political aspect was in two phases or two phase. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 07097997. The people so used to political everything. So you have to let go. You have to let go. One of the ways you can get your life going best and well spiritually is when you can rid your heart of every ounce of bitterness. Have nothing against people. Don't hold anything against people. If you realize you must have said something that wasn't right, you move to that person and say, Madam, Mister, sorry, I said this, or I did this. I came to openly apologize. When you can do that, your life will get better. When you hold things in your heart against people, not only are you carrying a psychological load, but you have closed the future before you, ahead of you. When you harbor things against people, you have placed a blockade moving forward. Rid yourself of all of those. Let go. Wherever you are, just move to the person. It doesn't matter whether the person will accept you or not. Some of you want to do that, but you get afraid. I have heard expression like this. Yeah, truly, I wronged that person. Or thinking, well, when I go and tell the person, ask for forgiveness, whether the person will really want to listen to me, the person will not get fit. It is not for you to think that way, but rather to move in and rate it off. That's all. As long as you can do it, you have blindfolded yourself moving forward in life. Things wouldn't work for you. You have to stop it. Rid yourself of everything, every bitterness. Let go. Forgive. You are a, you are a unique person. You got 2 weeks to close everything. Beyond that, even before the elections, you had things against people. You didn't rid yourself of those. You enter into the campaign. Some things increase it. And then we are going to the end. That is why from now until the 14th of November, you have to stop being unruly. You have to stop using awful words against people. Don't allow campaign or election to fool you. Some people, as much as I am talking about forgiveness or the station is talking to you about forgiveness, there are others too who are hard or wouldn't want to let go. Yeah. Okay. So you want to let go. Rid yourself of all of this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much. That's all the time we've got to be on the show, and this is our recess for this week. We'll return fresh on next Monday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. The two guys, Lasana Dolly and Achibawolo, couldn't make it. So we are out. We've got other things to attend to. Thank you ever so much. Thanks to Abraham Denton, who will be behind the scene, making sure that everything is okay. We're back on Monday, if God permits. My name is Sam Andrews.